when you're doing anything to do with maths, they will try and get you to do it one way. Then they'll try and get you to do the reverse of it so that you're always able to work backwards and forwards. Then they'll often bring in a bit of algebra to it. So far, what we have done is our indices rules. Hopefully you feel a bit more comfortable with them. And what you're looking at now is the fact that we have maybe 2 to the power of what gives me 8. Would you know that off the top of your head? I hope that you would, and you'd just be like, okay, 2 to the power of 3. So we don't need any new maths for that. But if I asked you 2 to the power of what gives me 9, could you figure that out? And if you think about it, well, 2 to the power of 3 gives me 8. 2 to the power of 4 gives me 16. So it should be somewhere between 2 to the power of 3 and 2 to the power of 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my calculator. You can do this yourselves. I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm just going to type in, right, 2 to the power of 3.5 maybe. Okay, that's 11.3. That's way too high. So I'm going to go for 0.4. That's 10. Okay, well, at least I'm getting closer. Going to go for 0.3. Okay, that's 9.8 something. Do you get the idea? Hopefully you're okay with that. And you just keep going until you get, right now I'm getting close. It must be 3.1 something or 3.0 something. Right, so it's 3.1 something. So maybe 3.15, I don't know. Too small, 3.16, etc. Surely over the last thousands of years that someone has been doing all this maths, they've come up with a faster way than guess and check. Okay? There is absolutely nothing wrong with guess and check. It just takes me time. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our log tables. And this is now your most important rule to do with this topic. There is absolutely no point in being okay with any of the rest of these rules until you are very happy with that one. So it's a to the power of x is equal to y. Right, well, that's what I have here. I have something to a missing number is equal to something. So they have it as a to the power of x is equal to y. Now, what do they say to do with that? Well, across from that, they say you can go back and forth here. So if you look at the arrow, now, I hope you do maybe have your log tables in front of you. But if you look, you can go back and forth between these two. So if I am in this format, I can go into this format. If I am in this format, I can go into this format. So I can always go back and forth between the two. So we have a to the power of x equals y. What's a in the situation? It's a 2. So just so you're aware that you can read all this. So a is a 2, x is the missing number up there, which makes sense. Usually we call x our missing number. And y is a 9. So if you go to your log tables, it says the a goes here, the y goes here, and you'll get x once you do this. Off you go to your calculator. Okay. Now we have 3 log buttons here. We're dealing with this one first. Okay, so on the new calculator there should be 3 log buttons as well. We're just dealing with the top one first. And when I press that, I should be able to type in, you know, what is down here, which happens to be a 2 in this situation, and what is up here, which happens to be a 9 in this situation. press equals, and we get 3.169925001. So we no longer have to guess and check. That's our missing power. In case you come across the words, the 2 is the base number. I don't know if you would have heard that before, but because we're going into more detail, we're going to name everything. So the 2 is your base number, or if you look at your log tables, it's the A. The A is your base number. The X, or the power up here, so you can call it a power. It could also be called an index or indices, all these different words that you might have heard. And the Y is, I guess, your answer or your outcome. So when we have a missing power, we can go into logs, throw in our information here, and the calculator should generate what our missing power is. So if you look between here and here, X is your missing power. So if you go log of whatever number you have in the base that you have is equal to, that should give you your missing power. So I'd like you to try, think about this. 2 to the power of what gives me 2? Now that should be pretty straightforward. So when you type into your log tables now, so we're looking at this. Let's say we just didn't know what the missing power was. So in this situation, the base number happens to be 2 and the Y happens to be a 2. So now throw into your calculator log 2 in the base 2 and you get the answer 1, because that's telling you, oh, it's 2 to the power of 1 gives me 2.